Also this morning, you may have seen the headline pop up on your phone. Confidential draft IRS memo says tax returns must be given to Congress unless President invokes executive privilege. The story behind that is that the Washington Post somehow got hold of a 10-page internal IRS memo which says the president must turn over his tax returns to Congress unless he asserts executive privilege. The implication being that the staff of the IRS sees this as a no-brainer, that the law is clear, that the Treasury Secretary doesn't have a choice, and those congressional committees who demanded the president's tax returns must be allowed to see them and see them now. But it turns out this was only a draft memo. It was unsigned and therefore not official. So now what? Here's CBS News legal analyst and law professor Thane Rosenbaum.
In many ways, this memo suggests a conflict within the IRS itself. Career lawyers view the obligation to turn over tax returns to Congress as being unambiguous. The political appointees to the IRS, however, along with President Trump's political appointments at the Department of Treasury, believe that no such requirement exists unless there is a legitimate legislative purpose.
But all that's moot because apparently the president could just invoke executive privilege, as he has done in other cases, and still keep his returns secret. So once again, we're back to where we were, no tax returns. Attorney General William Barr is taking on another item from the president's agenda, railing against judges who issue rulings blocking nationwide policies. Latest example of this, a ruling last month by a federal judge in Yakima, blocking new rules that could cut off federal funding for doctors or nurses who refer patients for an abortion. In his speech to the American Law Institute, Attorney General Barr says that orders like this go beyond the limits of the Constitution and are simply a way of skirting the legislative process, and that both sides do it. They just shop around for sympathetic judges.
Requests for nationwide injunctions thus flooded Texas district courts during the Obama administration, while similar requests have landed in California and New York during the Trump administration.
And so he says you have to fight the same case over and over again.
When Congress passes a statute or the president implements a policy that is challenged in multiple courts, the government has to run the table. We must win every case. The challengers, however, just have to find that one district court judge out of the available 600 willing to enter a nationwide injunction.
Which he says is unfair.